eat, then you have some interest in agriculture. Good morning, everyone. As we know, the urban population covers more than half of our population, which is an incredible amount of people that are not involved in day-to-day basis of food production. We need to have a close gap of knowledge between rural and urban when it comes to the education of where their food comes from. Food next to water is the most important and relative thing we as humans understand. So how do we educate the urban masses? With today's social media and computer technology, there's many means of educating people. But to do so, we need to spark their interest so they make the connection. To have agriculture and food production taught in schools, we need to have classes that are up to 2 years covering the fundamentals of food production and agriculture taught. We can explain through tours of production operations, for example, feedlots, feed mills, and greenhouses, so young people see firsthand how lettuce, cucumbers, and potatoes are grown or oats are produced. As well as tours with guest speakers like a meat grader talking about the importance of AAA steaks, or a crop duster explaining the importance of crops need to be sprayed for certain diseases. Students can learn from videos, webinars, and material sources from agriculture industry groups like poultry production, Canadian cattle producers. Information from these groups is factual, easy to understand, interesting, and covers all aspects that urban communities need to understand. Another place in education, it can be taught in home ec classes in junior and senior high for food production. Eggs, milk, and hamburgers don't just magically appear on store shelves. Production involves many stages and safety protocols. Milk comes from dairy cows that have been taken years to get a high-yielding herd. The producer has to maintain a healthy cow so they can produce the best milk. The milk is tested for antibiotics and white blood cells as part of the milk producer's safety net. Educating kids at a young age makes them eager to learn more about their food and how it's produced. Teaching them a broad range factual-based agriculture production will bridge the gap while sparking their interest to discover more. If there was more billboard ads, newspaper ads, and more things to cause us to stop and think about where our food is produced, if the urban population is given websites and places to seek correct, factual, and informative agriculture production information, I will believe they will source out the facts to others. Large signs that stimulate conversation or thought will lead to people seeking more information. The more factual and truthful they are, the more people have to gain from and engage them in food production conversation. To have teaching events like hands-on displays like what there is here at Stampede, having urban people tour through barns with displays about beef, poultry, grain production, and many others make for a chance to have an open discussion with rural and urban people about the food they're both eating as one's producing it. It allows for an explanation of all the safety programs the agriculture industry has in place and the importance. For safe food production, for example, the VBP Verified Beef Production Program showing how producers track animals using CCIA tags and medication treatment documents. Or ISO, which is an independent auditor that spot checks to make sure safety producers are being followed. All forms of agriculture and food production in Canada has safety standards to ensure all food is produced in the safest way possible. Remembering that farmers and agriculture producers have families and feed those families the same food as the world, every parent wants to feed their family safe food, and farmers take the utmost in what they produce. My last and final way I would educate urban population is developing more open farm days, possibly a fish farm, mushroom facility, and maybe feedlot. There are so many opportunities for urban people to learn and mostly understand why agriculture production does what it does. Being open and honest will lead to a rewarding and mutual open conversation while narrowing down the misunderstandings between the two. I believe that everyone is connected on a basic level through food we eat, plus generations in the past. So let's embrace the honesty and realize we have a lot to benefit and be grateful for, knowing our food in Canada is